And Republicans support a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time is running out. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is Game Night with Josh Hinnett.
Let's go!
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
And he scored!
Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Josh Hinnett.
Josh Hinnett here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM. We are back for another edition of the show. Phillies getting a win last night, but should we be concerned? There was a specific part of the game last night that gave me a little bit of unnecessary flashbacks. All right, I'll get into that this hour. Plus, we'll get into the latest in the Sixers offseason and, of course, the Eagles as they prepare for the start of their NFL season. I strongly disagree with the latest ranking of NFL rosters. Plus, this hour, we'll be joined by Jesse Rendell. He is the executive director of the Make the World Better Foundation. We were at the Make the World Better pickleball tournament hosted by Connor Barwin on Saturday. Myself and Billy Schweim here on 97.3 ESPN. Great time out there. Fundraising for a great cause. And Jesse will join us to talk a little recap of the weekend as they had a big turnout for the event, big turnout for the after party. And we'll get his takeaways from the event and some of his thoughts on as well on the Birds. As always, you guys can join the conversation at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. The Phillies won the game last night. And I know you're supposed to walk away with positive vibes. But remember I told you guys last week I had a bad feeling about the Brandon Marsh 2 errors he made, that there might be a problem coming here. And then we saw him do it again, and it led to a loss, right? Well, there was something that happened that was covered up by the win last night that I think needs to be talked about. And that is the Phillies struck out 17 times last night, 10 times by the pitcher Wise. Now, it's not like the Tigers have a great pitching staff. Tigers are 17th in baseball in team strikeouts, 16th in batting average again. So it's not like they're an elite team. So why would the Phillies strike out 17 times against that team? And now tonight, you're going against a pitcher who is a Cy Young candidate in Skubal for the Tigers. That's why there's no Bryson Stott, no Brandon Marsh, no Dave Dahl, no Garrett Stubbs in the lineup today. Should we be concerned that the Philadelphia Phillies still have a discipline problem at the plate? Or was last night a bad night at the office? And I got to be honest with you guys, I am a little concerned because some of those strikeouts looked really bad. Some of those swings and misses really looked like a group of guys who were getting too easily fooled at the plate. And again, the Tigers, not an elite pitching staff, not a high-level strikeout team, not a team that should go out there and dominate you. So I have flashbacks to the 2022 World Series where they set the record for most strikeouts in a series with 71 by an offense. Last year's NLCS, where in Game 6 and Game 7, they couldn't do anything at the plate properly, and they were striking out a bat after a bat, inning after inning. And then you see the reports out that the Phillies could be interested in Luis Robert Jr. I think last night proves why you cannot trade for Luis Robert Jr. I don't care how much power he has. I don't care how much of a talent he is. The dude is a strikeout machine. Why do I need another bat who's going to be a potential strikeout option in this lineup? Now, look, beggars can't be choosers. I understand that there might not be an ideal player out there for the Phillies. But goodness, couldn't you find somebody who doesn't strike out every other inning? I mean, the Phillies looked like they were getting fooled by like Roger Clemens or Randy Johnson last night, but neither one of them were on the mound, and I was so confused why they kept striking out constantly. It just absolutely baffles me that this team, for as talented as they are, for as gifted as they are, still have these issues with striking out. And when you go around Major League Baseball, you realize that the Phillies are not as bad as they've been in years past when it comes to the strikeout. In fact, this year, the Phillies are not even in the top 10. They're 16th in baseball in strikeouts. So they have, as a team, gotten much better at cutting down the strikeouts. But last night did give me a little bit of negative flashback. It did give me a little bit of a, I've seen this story before kind of vibes. And for me, looking ahead for the Phillies, if and when they do make a trade, I'm hoping that they acquire someone not named Luis Robert Jr., someone who doesn't have a propensity to strike out, someone who is a little more plate disciplined. Now, that might mean you have to acquire someone who maybe is not as much of a star player when it comes to being a hitter. Maybe you have to go out and acquire someone who's a little less flash, a little bit less pizzazz when it comes to the game of baseball. Maybe you have to go out and acquire a guy like a Tommy Pham. Maybe you have to acquire a guy like a Kevin Pillar. And I know some of you are saying, yeah, but Josh, those guys are not high-level hitters like Luis Robert Jr. Yeah, but they're also not guys who strike out a lot. And that's kind of where my mind is right now. My mind right now is I need the Phillies to get a competent hitter who is going to be a contributor to plate, who can play defense. I don't need Luis Robert Jr. in this lineup, especially when I'm paying Nick Castellanos all this money. When I'm paying Schwarber, Turner, Harper all this money. I don't need another offensive monster. I need a competent hitter, because when Schwarber or Turner or Harper or Bohm or Castellanos have a bad day at the office, I need someone to pick up this lineup. And I know it's not going to be David Dahl, and I know it's not going to be Brandon Marsh necessarily. Maybe it could be, I don't know. Definitely not Pache. Whit Merrifield hasn't shown us anything this year. And then Mundo Sosa, I'm not putting that pressure on him. And when JT Realmuto comes back, who knows how long it'll take him to get back to where he was before the injury. So, for me at least, I look at the Phillies and say, you have to go out and acquire somebody who is going to be a right-handed hitter, number one. And number two, someone who is not going to be a potential detriment in the postseason. Because again, I'm concerned that if you bring in another strikeout inclined individual, it is going to put this team at an incredible disadvantage. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See a couple other news items to get to before we hit the break. You don't forget Jesse Randell from the Make the World Better Foundation will join us coming up in about 10 minutes from now. The news has been circulating that OG Anunoby will be opting out of his deal with the Knicks. He is declining $19.9 million player option for next season. And I strongly believe the Sixers need to pursue OG Anunoby and forget about this pipe dream with Paul George. First of all, OG Anunoby is 27 years old this summer. Why would you not want a player who is entering the prime of his career instead of acquiring aging star players? I get it. PG-13 and Jimmy Butler, these are known commodities. But I don't know if Paul George and Jimmy Butler can stay healthy enough for me to depend on them each and every year. I don't know if either one of those guys are at a point in their careers where I'm willing to pay them the money and give up potentially the players it would need to acquire them. OG Anunoby can be signed in free agency. I don't have to trade any assets for him. And now I can use my draft pick tomorrow night, my first round pick. I can use whatever else to get other players. But it doesn't have to be Jimmy Butler or Paul George. Now, of course, in theory, you could acquire Jimmy Butler and sign OG Anunoby. But I've been really thinking about this a lot since the end of the NBA Finals. Who were the teams that gave the Celtics trouble? It was the teams that had the high-level athletes. It was the teams that could athletically outwork the Celtics. And OG Anunoby fits that profile. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope fits that profile. The players that fit the profile as the Sixers need might not be Paul George and Jimmy Butler. Because at the end of the day, if Tobias Harris would have played like an average NBA basketball player, if he would have played at least a competent level of basketball, they could have beat the Knicks in that series. If Tobias Harris wasn't such a pathetic loser at life and for some reason just frozen in time like a deer in the headlights driving down the highway, then maybe the Sixers could have gotten out of the first round and gotten to the second round. But instead, we're sitting here talking about a team that could have made a deep playoff run if Tobias Harris would have played a better brand of basketball. So I think that proves in and of itself, you don't need a team full of superstars, because teams like the Suns and others, they're not making deep playoff runs. The Celtics have a team of everyone knows their role and everyone plays it at a very high level. They have 2 superstar caliber players and they have a bunch of really good players around them. I don't need a third superstar. If I'm the 76ers, I need another player I can rely on. And when you look at teams like around Philadelphia, you realize that championships are won, I should say, by a group, not by individuals. You know, I had the opportunity to talk to Bo Allen and Jake Elliott with Billy Schwein in the locker room on Saturday at the Make the World Better pickleball tournament. And those guys are perfect examples of knowing their roles and playing it at a level to put their teammates in a position to be successful. If Bo Allen doesn't do his job, if Jake Elliott doesn't do his job, the Eagles don't win a championship. The Eagles don't win over the Patriots. They don't make it to that championship game. Every team in sports has to have their teammates do their part to win a championship. And if I'm the 76ers, I'm not sitting there trying to get the biggest star possible. Same thing I said with the Phillies. I don't need Luis Robert Jr. I don't need Paul George. I don't need these players who could maybe be great for us. I need someone who's a known commodity who's going to come in and do their job, and I can rely on them. And I think that is the key to winning, whether it's on the basketball court, the baseball field, the football field, or even the NHL and the hockey ice. You saw last night. The Panthers got a great effort by the entire team to play defense. That's why they won the Stanley Cup. And by the way, second most watched NHL game all time last night. 16.3 million viewers were watching that game. And you heard it right here on 97.3 ESPN. Up 85% from the last Game 7 in the Stanley Cup final that was shown on television. All right, coming up next, we'll talk about this weekend's event. Connor Barwin, Bo Allen, Jake Elliott, and more were in Seattle City for the Make the World Better Foundation. We'll talk to Jesse Rendell about it next here on Game Night. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank, Sea Isle City.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Romanelli's Garden Cafe in Galloway for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
seizethedeal.com.
This summer, click into easier yard cleanup with same-day delivery from the Home Depot. Click into clearing overgrown grass or weeds with effortless gas-like power. And click into the convenience of a battery platform compatible with over 250 tools with the Milwaukee M18 fuel trimmer, now for just $199. Click into power with 4th of July savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select and stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
It's the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event going on now at Matt Blatt's Nissan. You'll be thrilled in a new Nissan Sentra S, just $159 per month lease, or Kicks S, just $199 per month lease, and 0 security deposit.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
You heard right. New Matt Blatt Nissan Kicks S, just $199 per month, or Sentras, only $159 per month lease. Both with 0 security deposit, $29.99 due, and you'll be cruising up to 39 miles per gallon. Stuck in a loan or lease? AJ the Trademan can get you released, so don't repair it. Don't fix the broken windshield. Don't even wash it. Bring it to Matt Blatt Nissan.com. On approved Tier 1 credit for NEMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle plus tax tag and $589 fee. Offers can't be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or go to mattblattnissan.com for complete details. VIN RY324390 and RI498444. Central lease selling price $21,570. Kicks lease selling price $22,840. Offer ends 7/6/2024. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines, guides in the know, and prices so low it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Powered by the all-new BetParks New Jersey Casino and Sportsbook app. BetParks.com. This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
What should the Sixers do on draft night? I'm Nick Earnshaw with your South Jersey Sports Center and with your 97.3 ESPN question of the day. With the NBA draft beginning tomorrow and running through Thursday, it got us thinking here at 97.3 ESPN, what should the 76ers do with the 16th overall pick? Keep it or trade it? Let us know your thoughts by texting 609-403-0973. That's 609-403-0973, or use the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. In my estimation, you trade the pick. The Sixers need to start getting serious and going forward over the next 2 years. They have all this cap space. Bring in players that can make an impact right away. I just don't think drafting a young player right now will help them win a championship over the next couple of years. Once again, text in at 609-403-0973. Your forecast is next.
From playtime to showtime, Atlantic City always serves classic summer fun with a twist of cool. Visit AtlanticCityNJ.com to win an overnight getaway.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. 2 big weather problems resurface tomorrow. It's going to be steamy, then stormy. No problems for you tonight. Partly cloudy skies, low as 72. Tomorrow, hot and humid, high of 92. With sunny clouds, strong thunderstorms look to hold off until late tomorrow night. Still a lingering shower Thursday morning. Then we'll go from clouds to sun. It'll be cooler and way less humid Thursday, high of 86. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
Hello, I'm the Atlantic County Prosecutor William Reynolds. As the leader of the Chief Law Enforcement Agency of Atlantic County, we work tirelessly to ensure that our community is safe and secure. This summer, thousands of residents and visitors will head out to enjoy Atlantic County's world-famous shoreline and recreational destinations. I am asking you to partner with us by making safety a part of your summer plans. When you hit the road, always remember to buckle up, travel at safe speeds, and watch for pedestrians, and never drive impaired. If you plan to drink alcohol or under the influence of drugs, don't drive. Designate a sober driver or use a ride share. Research shows that using a ride share prevents impaired driving and saves more than 600 lives each year. Before you get into a ride share, always look for identifying placards on the front and rear windows of the vehicle. Ride share drivers are required to display these identifying markers to ensure that you are safely entering the correct vehicle. Let's work together to have a safe and memorable summer season.
This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Before we check back in the text board at 609-403-0973 and your DMs on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle, as promised. Joining us right now, Jesse Randell. He is the executive director of the Make the World Better Foundation. The second annual Make the World Better pickleball tournament was on Saturday in Sea Isle City, and Jesse joins us to recap the weekend here on 97.3 ESPN. Jesse, welcome in. How you doing today?
Doing great, Josh. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I appreciate you jumping on. We tried to get you on Saturday, but you guys there's just too much going on Saturday. So
yeah.
give everyone an idea of, how good was Saturday? Was Saturday what you hoped for and more? Just give the audience a recap.
The truth is, Josh, you had to choose between me and Bo Allen and Connor Barwin. So, I don't hold it against you that I wasn't your first pick, but as you know, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off because I took on the task of running this event again for the second year. And unfortunately, I'm kind of OCD. So I was managing every aspect of it, who's playing who. And with 48 teams and 7 courts, 3 hours or so to get it done, it's a complicated thing. But no, this year was fantastic. Last year was the first year we did the event. And, my goal in doing it was just to create something that could grow every year. As the executive director of a nonprofit, I'm trying to figure out how to generate revenue that, is bankable kind of year in, year out, and that will grow. And so this year we almost tripled the funds raised. We had over twice as many teams. Just a fantastic event. And everybody really loved it, just like they did last year. Such enthusiasm around pickleball and everybody being down in Sea Isle to start off the summer. So really couldn't have asked for a better event and couldn't be more pleased with how it went.
And people were Eagle fans and they weren't in Sea Isle this weekend. They really missed out because it felt like everyone everywhere you looked. I mean, aside from Connor Barwin, you mentioned Bo Allen, Jake Elliott was there, Malcolm Jenkins came out. I saw Trent Cole was there on Saturday. It was like a who's who. And if you were an Eagles fan, I mean, you're not just coming out to, donate to a great cause, but you missed out on some great opportunities to say hello to some of your favorite Eagles.
Yeah, well, truthfully, last year we had the kind of climactic moment of the tournament was Kylie and Jason Kelsey playing Connor and Laura Barwin, his wife. I didn't think we could top that, and we do strategically, have the tournament near to Jason's event with the hopes that he can make it there. But this year he was in France, so right. When Connor told me that Jake and Bo were going to play, I was obviously thrilled, but I had no idea the capabilities that these guys had on the pickleball court. And from the start, it was clear. I mean, these guys are athletes, and they take the competition very seriously. And they were about business from the start. And they mowed through all of the teams in the advanced bracket, which is pretty incredible because the team that won last year kicked everyone else's butt. And they got dismissed by Bo and Jake. And just to watch them take it so seriously, and it was great, man. It was really awesome to have all those guys there supporting Connor and the foundation.
Yeah, what's crazy about Jake is that people might not know this, but Jake was originally going to be a tennis player. He was never going to play football. And so you get a guy who is a legitimate gifted athlete. I mean, he's a scratch golfer, for goodness sake. He might be the best golfer in the NFL. And it's like, you're like, oh, go play pickleball. And you guys get the videos online of Jake hitting the paddle behind his back. It's just like good grief. Like, does anybody have a chance against that?
Yeah, I think, I imagine being a kicker, there's a certain amount of precision that comes into play. Anybody that's played golf knows, you draw the ball, you fade the ball. I'm sure it's a little bit similar, but he strikes me as the kind of guy who could pick up just about anything. And he's like this crafty ninja, that could do just about anything. And then you pair him with Bo, who I think we kind of made the mistake of, at least I did when he was playing for the Eagles, thinking he was this big nose tackle. But I mean, the dude is just a massive athlete. And,
right.
It just reminds you these guys are professional athletes, even on the pickleball court. It was pretty fantastic. And then for them to win, we made these championship belts this year for the first time. And we gave those away at the after party. And then they're walking around town in them. That couldn't have worked out better for us. Obviously, part of this is content too, as you know, Josh. So that side of it was amazing. And, already starting to think of things we can do next year. And I know, by the way, we got a video that's going to hit the airwaves tomorrow with Bo Allen challenging Nick Foles to play.
Oh,
because I don't know if you know this, Nick Foles. He owns part of a team and he played in a pro tournament. But
yes.
Jake and Bo were alleging that his level that he played in was not as high as some people think, and they called him out. And I already know that Nick has seen this video, and Nick said, "I'm in. I just got to find a partner." So I'm not saying we're having Nick Foles next year, but I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Jesse Rendell joining us, the executive director of Make the World Better Foundation. The second annual Make the World Better pickleball tournament was Saturday in Sea Isle City. It's funny you mentioned that because Nick Foles has publicly challenged Jason Kelce to play pickleball. He did that a couple months ago. So now if Bo is challenging Nick Foles, we got this like almost like a circle of life going on with all these Eagles from that
let
team.
me just tell you, the thought occurred to me that if we have Bo Allen and Jake challenging Nick, there could be a certain someone who would make a good fourth there.
Right.
So we got a lot of time to work on that. The tournament, the prestige of the tournament is growing. So we'll see what we can do.
Jesse, people may recognize your last name. Obviously, you are the son of Philadelphia Mayor and Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell. So talk about for a minute for you, because of who your father is, you got to meet and see a lot of people over the years. So describe from your personal experience growing up in that environment to now being and working in this environment as the executive director of the foundation. What was the weekend like for you from that perspective personally?
Well, I was fortunate enough at an early age. I got to be honest. I was just very lucky. Back then when my dad was mayor, there was a mayor's box at every stadium. And I would be there eating hot dogs at the vet, on Sundays with like the laborers union who he gave the box away to. But I had the good fortune of meeting, prominent people very early on. I remember being at a Bill Clinton fundraiser when I was 12 years old. So, I think I kind of got used to that and it became somewhat normalized, which I think helps a lot, right? Because anybody who's met any of these players beyond just in passing knows that they don't want somebody who's, going to treat them any differently than a regular human being. And it's allowed me to actually build some great relationships. I mean, Connor, I met through the work I was doing in the city for nonprofits. But since that time, we've become very good friends and, had a couple different friends that were athletes in the city. And, for me, it just feels very natural. I was a dyed-in-the-wool sports fan all my life. I'm a huge sports radio guy. I was telling you every time when I'm down the shore, I got 97.3 on and, I can't get enough of that stuff. So it's gratifying and really enjoyable to be a part of it. I always want to be a part of like the Philadelphia sports scene. It just feels natural to me. So to be able to fuse what I do and doing something that impacts the community in a positive way with that is great.
You just mentioned a moment ago about who these people are beyond people meeting them on the, the street. Like, for example, the famous video out there right now, Jason Kelce met that Eagles fan at the Swift concert. And the young man didn't even realize who he was looking at. He was like in so shock, but for you, when you say that though, what is something that stands out the most about who these are as people? Because I got to tell you, I was having a conversation with somebody earlier and I was saying, people don't realize that these are good human beings. These are not just great athletes. Guys like Connor Barwin, Bo Allen, Jake Elliott. I mean, to see, and Jason Kelsey as well, to see the kind of people they are, for Eagle fans, you got to be proud of the fact that these guys played for your team.
Well, yes, I think you named a bunch of really great individuals, but let's be honest, it's not always the case, right? And we've been through different cycles with different teams here in the city, and it hasn't always been that way. But I will say, and I think anyone who's a fan in Philadelphia knows this at this point, anybody who has success in Philadelphia develops a certain relationship with the city, and that includes the shore, whether people like it or not. I think that it's just Connor always tells a story of being out in LA when he's playing for the Rams, and the only people that would recognize him were Eagles fans that were out there, right?
Right.
So, I think there's just a respect, and obviously if you're a psycho fan that doesn't know how to act, you're not going to get, it's going to get weird. But, if you're a normal person that appreciates what they do and they know how much you care about it, I think for the most part, you're going to have a good interaction. Now, there's guys in all the leagues that, you're not going to have a good interaction with no matter what. But for the most part, certainly with the recent teams that we've had great guys. And with Connor and Jason, you're talking about guys that really dedicate time to making sure that they are answering that, answering the passion and the love with using their platform to impact people's lives in a positive way. So we've been very fortunate to have some really amazing players in the city.
Talking with Jesse Rendell from the Make the World Better Foundation, the executive director. The second annual pickleball tournament was on Saturday in Sea Isle City. I'd be remiss if we didn't mention Sea Isle City part of this, Jesse, because, Chris Glancy and the folks at Ludlam opened up for you guys to have the after party, kind of like a last minute. You guys had the final place. That was amazing by them. We had some great sponsors for us to come down there on Saturday, like McCann Realtors and Bright Spot Cafe. And see how, by the way, Bo Allen took my advice and went to breakfast at Bright Spot this morning with Jason. Got that article up on our website. So, I mean, these guys, they come to town. The town supports back when they're supporting the town. So just talk about your experience with Sea Isle.
Well, my experience with Sea Isle goes back many, many years. As I was telling you, my parents bought a house in Ocean City in the late 70s, I believe. And I decided at an early age, I got into surfing, and I got really into surfing, and I started surfing for the Heritage Surf Team. And I started working. My first job was at the Heritage in Sea Isle City, working for Brian Heritage, who I'm sure you guys know. And I developed a very close relationship with the people at that shop. And I spent every summer down the shore, no summer camps. I wanted to surf. I started doing all the competitions, and was down there a lot even in the fall and winter, despite the fact that I went to school in Philly. So I developed a relationship with that whole kind of surfing community in Ocean City and Sea Isle. Wonderful group of people. And to this day, I still maintain that connectivity. My son is an avid surfer. So I spent a lot of time in Sea Isle growing up, and, it goes without saying whether people down there like it or not. And I always kind of fought this battle a little bit, right? Because I wasn't a local. I was kind of part Shuby, right? Philadelphia and the areas around Philadelphia are flooding down the shore in the summer. And so I think for us, it just creates an opportunity to tap into that energy of people really loving being there in the summer, and doing something to bring those people together while they're there. I mean, there's an opportunity there for us to raise funds around that. And so, we've seen other events have success, and we said, why don't we do something down the shore? And I knew, based on some of the relationships that I already had down there, that we could probably spin something up pretty quick. Truth be told, it wasn't my idea to have a pickleball tournament. We actually have a guy who is part of what's called our owner's rep on our Parks and Rec major project up here in the city, who has a house in Sea Isle and plays pickleball every weekend. He said, we should do a pickleball tournament. And I said, that makes a lot of sense. And so next thing you know, we're having a pickleball tournament. But doing it down the shore, for me at least personally, made a lot of sense. And I like to get down there as much as I possibly can anyway. So it all was perfect for me.
Jesse, before I let you go, I want to throw an Eagles question at you. I know that A lot of people, a lot of fans have their own perspectives and opinions about the Eagles heading into 2024. I want to get your perspective because I feel like everyone has a different, it's almost like going for flavors of ice cream. There's variances within the flavors. There's no more just chocolate, right? There's 5 different variations of chocolate and so on and so forth. So what is your take on the Eagles heading into this season?
Well, how long do you have? No. It's funny. I think there are certain aspects of what changed with the team in free agency and with the draft that I haven't even really got my head around. Like the idea that we're going to see Saquon Barkley as the running back of the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I'm not really going to grasp that notion until I see it happen. And obviously, I've got huge expectations for that alone, assuming he's healthy. I think when you look back on last year as a fan, you kind of have to hope that the inexperienced coordinator scenario and lack of clear direction for the offense and the defense, combined with a coach who kind of likes to have people in place that can do those things for him, was the reason that we had the issues. So you got to think that adding the new coordinators, is going to be a huge difference. But defensively, you've got some good talent. You got some young guys. You just don't know how they're going to do right off the bat. Are they ready to play? And then you've got the Georgia guys who looked great, but then kind of trailed off at the end of the year. So to me, I think there's no question that the team has tremendous potential. It's really just a question of whether the coaching scenario is going to be locked in and that's going to gel. And then some of the younger players, whether they be a couple years in or rookies, are going to be able to really step up and fortify that defense. We shouldn't really have any issues with the offense, I wouldn't think, at this point. It's really the defense I'm looking at and saying, hey, are these guys going to be able to step up and become a really good defense right off the bat? But it seems eons away until we get there. So hopefully it does come soon.
It's funny you said about the defensive coordinator because I've talked about here on 97.3 ESPN, Jesse, about how, you look back through Eagles history, they have success when they have veteran coordinators, Jim Johnson, Jim Schwartz, Vic Fangio kind of falls into that mold. I mean, frankly, Fangio is probably closer to those two guys than anybody else. So, I mean, it's not like Philadelphia hasn't had success with those guys. And frankly, you can't get any worse than you were last year. I mean, last year was borderline embarrassing.
Well, what's interesting? I hadn't really thought about this, and I could be wrong, but, we've seen, at least on the offensive side of the ball, starting with like the Sean McVay craze, right? Where it was like everyone's looking for that young defensive or offensive coordinator, who had a genius new way of looking at it. Then they become head coaches. Defensively, I don't know. It seems like you still see some of the old stalwarts having success. And when you bring those guys in that have new ideas, it doesn't always go well. So maybe reverting to an older guy could be the way to go. I'll tell you this. I don't know that Sirianni, to me, I've always been concerned about his emotional volatility. We've seen it all over the map. And I'm not even talking about, some of the fan stuff. I'm talking about in-game, his ability to control his emotions and make good decisions. And I feel like you pair that with inexperienced coordinators, and maybe that's not the best situation, right? But when you have those experienced coordinators in there, maybe somebody who can say, no, we're doing this, maybe that's going to work out better. Who knows? We're going to find out.
Well, we've heard that Kellen Moore apparently is his heart rate is lower than anything on the Eagles team. And Hertz was saying that they relate to each other well because they're both, a little more quieter individuals. So maybe that's part of the key here is, like you said, having coordinators who are very much who they are so they can stand firm in who they are. And the coach can just, be Sirianni.
Yeah, but just like with Jalen Hurts, that only works until, things aren't going well. And then people are going to want to be more emotional, right? So I'm happy for Kellen Moore that he's got a flat heart rate, as long as we're winning the game, right? But then someone's going to say, you got to do more. You got to freak out a little bit. Winning is the magic elixir for anything.
That's true. Very true. Jesse Rendell is the Make the World Better Foundation Executive Director. You can donate at mtwb.org/donate. Jesse, before I let you go, tell folks what's your project you guys are finishing up right now with the Make the World Better Foundation.
Yeah, I was just there today, the Vare Recreation Center in Grays Ferry. It's like a $22 million overhaul of basically an entire city block, which is a Philadelphia Parks and Recreation site. So you've got a brand new building with a gymnasium, gymnastics facility, rooms for programming. Then you've got a full turf football field, playground, spray ground, 2 outdoor basketball courts. And really, I think what we specialize in as an organization is finding opportunities where there are other partners that are interested, whether it be the city, whether it be other foundations, and just leveraging a project in a way that it probably wouldn't happen otherwise. So we are always bringing together a group of people and organizations that want to make something happen for a particular community, and seeing that through, starting with engagement with the community very early on the design phase, all the way through the construction process until we end up with a completed project. And then, we move on to the next one. There is our fourth project that we've done. The projects are tough, man, working with the city and building large, projects is challenging, but we fight our way through it, and we try to get out the other side with a great amenity that's going to serve the community for years and years to come.
Again, it's mtwb.org/donate. If you weren't able to make it out this weekend, the pickleball tournament, the after party, you can still donate year round to the Make the World Better Foundation. Jesse Rendell joining us here. Appreciate you jumping on, join the conversation, and we'll talk soon. And I'm looking forward to next year already.
Absolutely. And thank you guys so much for showing up and promoting the tournament, and appreciate all you do. And I'll be listening this summer.
I appreciate it. Jesse Rendell joining us here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Again, it's mtwb.org/donate is how you donate to the Make the World Better Foundation. As he said, they're finishing up the current project they're on right now, and they got other projects down the road. It's a much very worthy cause to donate to because of the fact that you're supporting the community. And I think that is one of the beautiful things about what Connor Barwin and they're doing with this organization, and that is they're doing things for the community, and they're not just taking money and you're like, well, I don't know where the money's going to. No, you know literally where the money is going to with the Make the World Better Foundation. All right, we'll check back on the text board. Coming up next, 609-403-0973. Your DMs into 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how Jeff from Ocean City. I see your text will get to you and more coming up next on 97.3 ESPN.
Tonight, we usher in the next wave of NBA players.
The 2024 NBA Draft on ESPN Radio.
NBA teams tell me that Heat breaks their analytics model. 3 teams have expressed varying degrees of interest in Bronny James.
The 2024 NBA Draft.
Let's get the night started.
Coverage of Round 1 begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC.
Listen to the NBA Draft on 97.3 ESPN.
The future is electric. The choice is yours at BMW of Atlantic City. Right now, lease a new 2024 BMW i4 eDrive 35 for $449 a month with $4,869 due at signing. Or a new 2024 i4 eDrive 40, lease for $449 a month with $5,679 due at signing. Both for 36 months and zero security deposit. A BMW of Atlantic City, closer than you think. Located in Egg Harbor Township. Online at bmwatlanticcity.com. Offers expire July 1st. For more details, call 609-316-2393.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
We're live on the green here at Big Little Nine, the happiest golf course on earth. Wow, this guy's got a swing like a one-armed man wrestling snakes in an elevator. Primed for fast play, you can fit around in any time and be happy as a flip-flop in sand. Book today at biglittle9.com.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with the team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll will help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Did you know that New Jersey is leading the nation in clean energy investments?
Really, New Jersey?
And all with one thing in mind. You.
Me?
New Jersey's Clean Energy Program offers incentives and services that benefit New Jersey residents, businesses, education, government, and nonprofit entities to help them save energy, money, and the environment.
Save money while saving the planet. Who knew?
Now you do. Visit njcleanenergy.com to learn even more.
Maybe we should change our nickname to the Clean Energy State.
A message from the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
With GMF financing to qualified buyers excludes Corvette, excludes prior sales.
Don't buy a car anywhere until you hear this. Bennett Chevy must sell 200 vehicles immediately. So right now, brand new Chevys are on sale at the GM supplier employee price. That's right, you pay what we pay. Plus, you keep all the rebates, saving you as much as 10% off MSRP. You heard right. You get both GM supplier employee prices, plus you get all the rebates up to 10% off MSRP. And because Bennett must move 200 new and used vehicles, we'll give you a minimum $10,000 for any rotted out old clunker, even if it was on fire. Yes, a minimum 10 grand for any clunker towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. Imagine how much you'll get for a good trade. These are real deals you won't get anywhere else but Bennett Chevy. So you must hurry for best selection. With deals like this, nobody beats a Bennett deal, and I mean nobody. Together, let's drive at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
The New Jersey Lottery has it's a Jersey thing, scratch-offs. Let's see if people can guess all 6 themes.
It's gotta be Summers Down the Shore.
Oh yeah.
Jersey Diners.
The best.
Asking someone what's your exit.
You know it.
Now you can turn your Jersey pride into prizes with the chance to win up to $500,000.
Hands down, the best pizza.
Right?
Never pumping your own gas.
Never.
Play today. Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 years old to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennick on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Let's check back on the text board at 609-403-0973. Of course, we got right now Phillies playing in Detroit. Game is underway. Ranger Suarez with the best ERA in baseball. Not just the best in the National League, in baseball right now coming into this game. And Tigers not a great team, so we'll see if he can continue to his level of dominance as the left-hander for the. Right now it's gonna be interesting because if Ranger maintains this pace, he's gonna win the Cy Young in the National League, and I don't think a lot of people thought that was going to happen coming into the year at all. So I mean, I think most people thought that might be like a Zach Wheeler, but not a Ranger Suarez. I think most people were hoping that Ranger to be better than his start last year. Remember, he was injured and they had to come back last year. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on this year, how he does for a complete season. Speaking of the Phillies, Jeff from Ocean City chimes in at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how he says, Jeff chimes in, what do you think Rojas will return September 1st? The Rojas question, I think, is going to impact what they do at the deadline because it's starting to look like they sent the wrong guy down to the minors because Dahl, he just hasn't been the guy that we all thought he was going to be. He's been incredibly underwhelming, to be honest with you. And right now, Rojas, he's batting .364 in 5 games at AAA. So he's starting to get positive outcomes with at bats, 8 hits in 22 at bats, along with, he's not walking a lot. He's only got 1 walk. So he's getting on base a solid amount, almost a 400 on base percentage. So, Jeff, I would assume that if Rojas keeps playing the way he's playing, he will be back sooner than September 1st. I mean, frankly, you got to consider 2 things with Rojas. Number one, if Rojas can show that he can get back to playing at a high level in the major leagues, then I think that he is your answer to center field. And that, Rob Thompson and Phillies general manager Sam Folda both said that they think they are at their best with Rojas in center field and Marsh in left field. So if you can get Rojas back up here, now it takes what you need to get at the deadline and makes it a little less complicated and a little more streamlined. Now, if you get a guy like Tommy Pham, you can say Tommy Pham's going to alternate with Brandon Marsh in left field, right? Because you need a legitimate platoon, because right now, Whit Merrifield is not the answer. Whit Merrifield has proven that he's just struggling too much. As I've told you guys before here on 97.3 ESPN, Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Tuesday night. I don't look at Merrifield as somebody that needs to be on this team anymore. I would trade him. I would literally call a team and say, if I give you Merrifield, I offer to pay part of his salary for the rest of the year, will you take him off my hands? Because it's obvious that this guy is struggling. And I don't know if it's because he's in the National League instead of the American League. This guy played in the American League his whole career. I think that type of mentality was something that was from 30, 40 years ago. The mentality of guys, can they change leagues and still be effective? I think because of interleague play, that kind of mentality is out the window. So there's got to be something wrong with him. And I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know if it's physical. I don't know what it is. But I just look at Merrifield and I just have so many questions about what is wrong with him. And I don't see any value for him being on this team any more whatsoever. So if I'm the Phillies, I find a way to get rid of him. And whether it is acquiring somebody else's guy that they maybe want to unload, maybe, like I said, Tommy Pham from the White Sox, Kevin Pillar from the Angels. You're playing the Tigers. Do you see the Tigers will let go of Matt Vierling? Matt Vierling can play multiple positions. Vierling can play center, left field, infield. The whole point of having Merrifield on this team is that he's supposed to be a versatile player. And I was always against getting rid of Vierling because I always felt that he was too versatile to unload. And now it's starting to look like that's coming to bite you. So is there a way you could call the Tigers and say, look, take Merrifield, we'll give you a prospect, give us Vierling so we can get rid of this guy. I think you should be happy with that outcome. I don't know if that's the big sexy move that's going to, get the meters going, get all kinds of fans excited, but it's the kind of move that helps you win a championship. To me, I'm more concerned about winning the championship than I am about, I'm more concerned about winning a championship than I am about, gotta get the best player available. Who cares about that? Because unless Mike Trout was healthy, there's no other player out there who could be had who fits what this team particularly needs. You need versatility, you need a right-handed bat, and you need someone who's not going to strike out like Nick Castellanos just pathetically did. I get it. Scooble's a really good pitcher, but some of these swings, some of these at-bats that Castellanos has, it just makes me wonder how he's a Major League Baseball player. Like the inconsistency, the Jekyll and Hyde nature of his game is just so bizarre. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Have a great day, everybody.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small.
Can't wake up without it.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.